My name is James L. Buckley, and my claim is that various provisions of the Federal Election Campaign Act of 1971 and its amendments regulating campaign contributions violate the separation of powers doctrine, the First Amendment, and the Fifth Amendment.
The court rules limits on contributions constitutional and provisions on expenditures and the way that FEC members are selected unconstitutional.
Buckley v. Vallejo is important because it completely reshaped campaign finance. It deals in civil liberties and foundations and took place on January 30th, 1976 in Washington, D.C. Buckley argued that the FECA abused the power of the legislative branch and violated the civil liberties that are freedom of speech and the right to not self-incriminate.
My name is George Bush, and I claim that Florida Supreme Court violated Article 2 of the Constitution by making new election law, and non-standard ballot recounts violate Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment.
The Supreme Court rules that Florida's proposition to recount ballots is in violation of constitutional law.
This case found that the state doesn't have legal authority to initiate ballot counting procedures and allowed Bush to win the presidency without a recount.
This case, which took place in 2000, deals with an election issue of a recount of votes and affirmed that states cannot issue recounts. It helped Bush win his first election for his first term.
I'm Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell, and my claim is that the Campaign Finance Reform Act of 2002, which banned soft money campaign finance donations and regulated the content, timing, and source of political advertising, is in violation of the First Amendment.
Constitutionality of the Campaign Finance Reform Act is upheld and ruled in favor of the FEC.
This case, which took place in Washington, D.C. on December 10, 2003, is significant because it limited political campaign financing even more. It provided specific regulations to prevent the corruption of the campaign process.
I'm Bill Clinton, and I claim that Line Item Veto Act of 1996 delegates increased lawmaking powers to the president by Congress and is constitutional.
The Supreme Court rules in favor of New York and affirms lower court decisions by finding that the line item veto laws violated law by making constitutional procedures.
This decision recognized limits of Congress in delegating legislative powers to the president and maintained traditional separation of powers in government.
I'm representing the United States, and we claim that the president has to obey a subpoena ordering him to turn over tapes and documents relating to his conversations with aides and advisors concerning the Watergate break-in.
This is Supreme Court, and I order the president to turn over tapes and documents to the prosecutors.
This case, which took place on July 24th, 1974 in Washington, D.C., is very significant because it limited the president's power and his executive privilege. Nixon claimed that he had an executive privilege and was immune from the judicial process, which would allow him to not turn over the Watergate tapes. However, this case overturns that and kept the checks and balances in place.
I'm Bill Clinton, and as president, I am immune from a lawsuit challenging my actions prior to my taking office.
The Supreme Court rules that the president does not enjoy immunity from a civil lawsuit for conduct not related to his official acts.
This court ruling found that the president is subject to the same laws regarding purely private conduct to which the general population is subject.
This case, which took place in 1997, dealt in the area of separation of powers and checks and balances, and wouldn't be the last time Bill Clinton got in trouble for sexual harassment.